Listening to a weather forecast is important. The bulletins are usually broadcast in a textual form. This is the form of transmission of, among others, the Meteorology bulletins of the Italian Air Force, the Meteo France and the Met Office bulletins. There is, however, another way to represent the weather, i.e. in a graphical form. These are the models which display winds, waves and cloud systems on charts with a progressive time forecasting available on the Internet. This is the example of the Navimeteo harbour visualization system located in various Italian ports, which makes it possible to get an overview sight of the general weather situation at a certain time. In this example, on the 12th of October 2008 at noon, you find a deep low pressure centre of 992 hectopascal over the northern parts of the Ligurian Sea. The isobars are very close and the cloud systems are dragged by the wind. This other case shows an overall picture over the Mediterranean. At the same time, you can also have the weather marine situation referred to the 30th of October at 12 o'clock. Where the sea is shown light blue means that the sea is smooth. Where the blue colour gets darker, the wave height rises to 1.25 metres or 1.5 metres. Where the colour is orange, the average wave height is from 2.5 to 4 metres. Then in the red spots you get a high sea with waves up to 4 metres or 6 metres. Where the colour is brownish red, we're dealing with a sea storm with truly high seas. With this kind of visualization showing the wind intensity through the grid files, i.e. the wind vectors and colours identifying the wave height, it is possible to find out immediately, even in the case of unskilled people, where the adverse marine weather conditions will be located. By using the same type of visualization, you can, for instance, zoom on a specific map of a local area, which highlights the high seas from the southwest, Lebeccio, with winds of 40 to 45 knots over the Ligurian Sea, the coasts of Tuscany and the eastern Ligurian coastline. Waves are in the range of 4 to 6 metres, whereas in the Gulf of Lion, the marine weather conditions are definitely better. The sheltered areas to the east of Corsica and Sardinia can also be clearly identified. We're obviously talking about two so-called leeward sea areas. We look now at another similar image, referred to the 10th of December 2008, showing a low pressure centre to the west of Corsica and Sardinia. We can see that it's moving eastwards, and the graphical representation of the marine weather conditions shows quite a strong Mistral flow extending from the Gulf of Lion right to the Sardinia Channel and the Strait of Sicily, giving way often to an anti-clockwise rotation of strengthening gale-force winds caused by Sirocco over the Ionian and the Adriatic. A close-up view referred to the same time period shows the local weather across the Bonifacio Strait. It should be clear that the representation of the wind flows does not always match the actual situation observed at sea. For example, in this area, the model indicates a 30-knot wind, but it is easy to imagine that the gusts in that area can be much higher because of the convergence effect of the wind. The sea state is quite visible over the western side of the Bonifacio Strait, while the stretch of coast close to Porto Vecchio, over the eastern coast of the island, remains clearly sheltered. This is the close-up image over a smaller area relative to the Sardinian Sea, the Sardinia and the Sicily Channel, where a very strong Mistral wind is noticeable, with the sea spreading even toward the island to the south of Sicily. The eastern side of Sardinia still remains sheltered. Therefore, when the airflow is known to come from a set direction, even the mariners are aware they are sailing along an exposed coast, understanding the need of taking refuge at a port, waiting for conditions to improve, or eventually managing to sail along a protected coast. This means that the choice of the coast to follow is already an important achievement to carry on sailing. While the strong Mistral blows in a gusty way over the Gulf of Lion, Western Sardinia and the Sardinia Channel, at the same time the Sirocco winds gain force across the Adriatic too. This is the typical case when Venice suffers the problem of the high waters due to the joined effect of the tide and the low pressure causing an abnormal rise of the sea level, but above all, the effect of the offshore winds responsible for the rise of the sea level within the lagoon.